ASIA, the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, is part of the Australian government's aid program, which funds agricultural research projects in developing countries. ASIA started its program in Vietnam in 1993 and has so far completed 170 projects worth 100 million Australian dollars, equivalent to 1,700 billion VND. ASIA has also made significant contributions to the improvement of fisheries, forestry, horticulture, animal husbandry, natural resource management, climate change adaptation, and agricultural policy. These advantages have had an impact on the economy at many levels, and the most significant impact is to help change the livelihoods of farmers, especially in mountainous areas. ASIA recently announced its research cooperation strategy with Vietnam for the period 2017-2027 and continue to help Vietnam in agricultural research and development with a focus on the Northwest, the Central Highlands, and the Mekong Delta. Greetings from Trang Vietnam on VTC10 Net Việt. 2018 marks the 45th anniversary of diplomatic cooperation between Vietnam and Australia, and also 25 years of cooperation between ASIA and Vietnam on agricultural research and capacity building. To understand more about this cooperation in today's program, we have a conversation with Mr. Campbell, the CEO of ASIA, on this topic. So thank you for joining us. Working on a project on supporting Vietnamese agriculture so far, so what can you say about the changes in Vietnam's agriculture?
Vietnam in general has been developing very fast, and Vietnam agriculture has also developed big export markets and dramatically improved in scientific capability and also in the ability to access export markets.
Can you share with us about achievements that the projects of ASIA has gained in Vietnam over the past 25 years?
And I'm very pleased to see that we've had a big impact in eucalyptus and acacia plantations, and the breeding of eucalyptus and acacia hybrids here in Vietnam has been a great scientific success story, but it's also underpinned the development of a very significant plantation sector, which has made much higher incomes for smallholder producers able to produce veneer logs, which sell for 10 times more than pulp logs. The mock chow vegetables here in Hanoi are based to a significant degree on research funded by ASIA in the northwest of Vietnam. So producing high quality vegetables using traditional varieties, but working along the whole value chain to ensure high quality, very safe vegetables. That's been a significant success story. We're also pleased with the work we have done in livestock value chains to improve food safety and animal health. We've also done valuable work in the lower Mekong on salinity coming into rice production and creating alternatives for the farmers. So there's been a long history of success here in Vietnam.
So in your opinion, what is the role of the private sector in the success of these projects?
That's one of the areas where we think there's the most opportunity for future development, is to increase the role of the private sector right along the value chain to the consumer. And very often with ACR research projects, the research happens at a small scale, but to get implementation at a large scale, we need the private sector involved. And so that's a big priority for us already, but even more so in the future.
The natural conditions of Vietnam and Australia are not the same. So in what ways do you think the experiences in Australia can be applied successfully in the context of Vietnam?
Through partnerships. We're not trying to transplant what happens in Australia directly and exactly into Vietnam. We have Australian scientific expertise working alongside Vietnam scientific expertise to jointly solve problems in Vietnam. Australia goes from the tropics to the desert, so we have a large variety of conditions, just like Vietnam. And so there's lots we can learn from each other and together.
2018 marks the 45th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic relations between Australia and Vietnam, as well as 25 years of collaboration between the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, Asia and Vietnam in the field of agricultural research and strengthening research capacity. On this occasion, the Australian Embassy in Vietnam cooperated with Asia to organize the event with a large participation from partners. With more than 170 projects on developing dairy products and beef in the northwest region of Vietnam, Asia Plantation, Lao Cai Province Vegetable Development, agriculture in Vietnam has improved somewhat from research to production and market access.
Với sự hỗ trợ của Asia thì chúng tôi đã phát triển thành công cái con hàu này, và đây là cái câu chuyện rất thành công giữa sự hợp tác quốc tế với Việt Nam, cũng như là sự kết hợp giữa nhà khoa học và người nông dân. Vì con hàu này là con mà rất có ý nghĩa kinh tế, nhưng nó lại không có phải là hàu, nó không phân bố ở Việt Nam, nó không phải loài bản địa ở Việt Nam, và chúng tôi đã nhập con hàu này về cùng với hỗ trợ kỹ thuật của phía Úc, với chuyên gia Úc. Và hiện nay con hàu này là đã được nuôi rất phổ biến ở tất cả các tỉnh ven biển phía Bắc. Phải làm sao tăng cường cái hợp tác với những cái đối tác hiện có và mở rộng ra những cái đối tác mới để cái sản phẩm của chúng ta là được cái thị trường biết tới, và kể cả là nhất là thị trường nước ngoài hướng tới xuất khẩu.
Since 2008, Asia has implemented 4 major projects on self-vegetable production and off-season vegetables in Lao Cai and Sơn La to enhance the capacity and skills of farmers to produce and supply good quality vegetables for the Hanoi market, especially in the summer. Particularly in Sơn La, the project has supported the establishment of 4 cooperatives and 6 cooperative groups, including 170 farmers in Mộc Châu and Vân Hồ districts, producing safe vegetables under Vietgap practice on a total area of 52 hectares, supplying 2,600 tons of vegetables to Hanoi, Quảng Ninh, Hải Phòng. The supply chain of vegetables has brought benefits to all participants.
Đây tham gia vào dự án thấy rất tốt, có lợi cho bà con nông dân là dự án tập huấn cầm tay chỉ việc cho bà con từ cái chỗ trồng ngô lúa một vụ một năm mà chuyển sang trồng rau an toàn thì cảm thấy là có lợi cho bà con nông dân rất là nhiều. Vâng, mà trong cái việc phát triển rau an toàn thì nó bền vững lâu dài.
Hoạt động hỗ trợ từ dự án này mang lại rất là lớn. Nó không chỉ giúp cho người ta thay đổi về cái cách làm so với trước đây mà giúp họ khắc phục những cái khó khăn hiện tại. Thế và đặc biệt là họ đã thay đổi cái quan niệm và họ tiếp cận với cái thị trường mà đặc biệt là thị trường thực phẩm an toàn đang có cái thay đổi hàng ngày.
According to the project's partners, farmers' incomes have improved significantly. Compared with the rice production, the efficiency of vegetable production increased from 3 to 12 times. For example, in Bắc Hà, Lào Cai, compared with the cultivation of Canephthacida, vegetable production helped increase income from 3 to 8 times. Over the past 25 years, can you share with us about the memorable experiences that Asia and you have gained?
ACR has been working in Vietnam for 25 years now, and we're very, very happy, very pleased and very proud of the work we have done in partnership with many scientific institutes from Vietnam in livestock, in horticulture, in forestry, in seafood. It's been many successes, and we're very happy with our partnership in Vietnam. The example I gave before about the plantation sector, we have measured the economic benefits of that project in particularly acacia and eucalypt plantations has generated a return of $80 for each $1 of investment. So $1 has generated $80 in benefits. That's a remarkable success and remarkable impact. But that's just one of 170 projects. Our work with cassava, with SIAT and with Vietnamese institutes in the northwest has been very successful. And we've just produced a new video on that project that describes how that work is developed. And that's about the sustainability of production. So it's not always about economic benefit, sometimes it's also about environmental or social benefit. And we're very pleased about those impacts as well.
In your opinion, how should Vietnam invest in developing the human resource in order to meet the current demand of the human resource and also toward the sustainable development of the agriculture sector?
That's a really good point. At the end of the day, people make things happen. And so investing in human resources is one of the most important things you can do. Vietnam is radically improving its already good education system and scientific training, and ACR is very happy to help with that. Over the last 25 years, we've trained 92 Vietnamese scientists with PhD or Masters or research leadership training. Soon that will be 100, and we want to work with those people too in an ongoing way to improve training for the next generation of scientists. And that's a very important element of our partnership together.
What are your recommendations for the government of Vietnam in promoting and giving more incentives for the development of the agriculture sector in line with the market economy?
I think the government of Vietnam is well aware of those opportunities, and our new agreement that was signed between our two prime ministers in Canberra only 2 weeks ago, that agreement sets out those priorities very clearly. And Vietnam is already well aware of those, I think. If you can improve along the whole value chain, improve food safety, food quality and the marketing, because Vietnam is growing, there's a significant domestic market but also significant export markets, and so there's a lot of scope for Vietnam agriculture, fisheries and forestry to continue to grow.
So what about the upcoming years? Can you share with us about the future plan of Asia?
Yes, we're very happy with progress to date, but also in the future we're going to focus on the northwest, the central highlands and also the lower Mekong. And our work will be in livestock, in horticulture, in seafood, in adaptation to climate change, in improving opportunities for women in agriculture and fisheries and forestry, and continuing our strong investment in capacity improvement through training scientists for research leadership roles in the future. So for the next 10 years, our challenge is now slightly different, and it's more about technical collaboration between Australia and Vietnam. And ACR is very pleased to be part of that collaboration.
Once again, thank you for joining us, and we hope in the future there will be more and more successful projects implemented by ACR in Vietnam. And that's all we have for this episode of Sang Vietnam today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at sangvietnam@netvietv.net. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.